Alrighty, we're getting into this one. To Puzzle K. I wonder who set this, judging by the rule set. I have some strong suspicions anyway. Hopefully we'll be able to get through this. I've got luckily we were sent through some hints of things to think about, so I've got that open. I haven't looked, it's all spoilered, but I'll certainly have a look if we don't start to get anywhere. So I'm gonna have another. I did have a read through the rules to try and get them in my head, but I'll have another read just to make sure that I don't start forgetting things, which I might do. So normal-ish chaos construction, because there's this orchard rule. So it's basically just acting as a big old tree of these things. You can't have 2x2s. You can't have any loops, which to me felt, because I was then trying to sort of maximize the whole thing, and there may well be a clever way of doing a maximization thing. It felt like you're quite close to needing the maximum possible, but see, I didn't think too much about it all, and probably are cleverer ways to, or there might be cleverer ways to make more cells, but you do start to be very constrained. But anyway, and then we've got gap sums and JSS. So gap sums are counting the number of zeros, and JSS normal-ish JSS, because of course not, because you've got some question marks, and also everything's been sorted, so we don't know which rows correspond to which rows, and similarly columns and whatnot. Now, I was wondering about trying to, but I think that is, I mean, that's certainly more readable having the one up there, isn't it? Than that. See, it's probably smaller still on, but that's fine. So, what did I want to have a look at? Sorry. So, these are all obviously going to be ones because they're staying quite small, and because this could come from, I might then do it like maybe I should have done this in Pemper. Might have been easier to read some stuff, because that's obviously bigger than that. This guy is going to be strictly bigger than this, therefore comes from those sort of cells. And fortunately, this is already strictly bigger than that, so that's not going to be a problem. But this guy has to either be a 2 or a 3, doesn't it? For it in order to be bigger, for it to be less than this, but bigger than that. That 4. That is fine to be a 3. That's strictly bigger than this. Probably not interesting, and then that starts becoming very uninteresting later. The overall sum, at least, is going to be consistently 405, is it? Which, yeah, isn't saying much. If I'm honest, I might get rid of those. They're probably not that useful yet. And gaps and things. Excuse me. This guy is either 14 or, that's where it's going to come a bit hard to mark some stuff, isn't it? So that's either 14 or 15. Or else this, because that has a maximum of 45. Not that it necessarily applies to this, of course. This has an absolute maximum of 17. This can obviously be the same as they go. This one's got, he's got a lot of cells that he's going to be a part of, because that's summing to at least 42. You're picking up at least 7 cells. I think like 6, 8, 5, 9, and then 3, 4, 7. You also have at least 3 gaps. Gaps of 0 corresponds. The first number is the gap clue. Number of contiguous stretches of empty cells in that row. Similarly, that can't be 12 yet. That can't be 12. That could be 11 or 12. So this one's maybe more interesting, especially with 4. So obviously they could all be 11s. 2, 3. Okay. So they have to all be 11s, I think. And you're going to look something like that. Oh, yeah, you're going to look exactly either like that or flipped on its head. Particularly matters. Gaps are gaps of zeros. And these, oh yeah, don't forget that these don't necessarily change with a region. They could change with a, don't necessarily change with a 0. They could change with a region. Which is interesting. I think I'm quite a long way off colouring these 2 2s, I suspect. It felt like progress near the start anyway. Well, I definitely should have done is gone and filled up my glass of water. Suppose they're all either 3s, 4s, or 5s. Doesn't particularly matter. Oh, and don't forget, of course, how these guys are sorted as well. Not again that I think that particularly matters in that case. So somewhere in the grid, got something that looks like this. And they all sum to 11. So they're never taking a 1. And they're all like the 2, 9, 3, etc. pairs. So our 29 all, but 29 all in a row can just be done in 4. That's not very. Oh, don't forget that that's 30, 42 in total, isn't it? Yeah. So that being 42 in total either avoids a 3 or avoids a 1 and a 2. That's 15. It's still got some degrees of freedom, doesn't it? But this sums to at least 42 as well. Sorry, I'm having flashbacks to another puzzle, but maybe given that's the whole point of this to do inspiration, that maybe I have solved the JSS one like this. So trying to think if there's, I mean, none of these look like they're going to be particularly strong width-wise. That one sums to at least 39. Have any sort of gaps? Have I the orchards rule? Is that actually a lot more powerful than give it credit for, I wonder? I've just seen that that can't be a 3. In fact, this guy can't be a 3, can it? Because that's... No, because you could be sorted off this. Yeah. That shouldn't be a problem. Right, something with a 1, of which we have a fair number of. What's that actually saying? That's exactly saying that, that somewhere in the grid there's a 1. And its region borders, I'm on red. Its region borders would have to cover it like that. So therefore it would have to escape one side or the other. It's the same, of course, for all of these ones. We've got a bunch of 1s with region borders to their left and right. So obviously they can pair up, for example. Go into this and thinking, don't go green. So if you didn't take that cell, you'd have to look like this. Yeah. I suppose at least one of them turns like that. Not interesting. I mean, these horizontal ones. Obviously, at some point, will intersect, or these rows with horizontal ones. Some point intersects this guy. Oh, except can it intersect on a gap? Yeah, and then they both just share a gap. Yeah. True. Oh, this guy. More interesting than I thought, because of course that 1 4 will be a 4, and the other one will be a 3 on its own, so this just acts as a 2. And all of those make up the digits 1, 2, 3, and 4. So somewhere you've got a 4 covered like that. You've got a 1 and a 3 covered like that. You've got a 2 covered like that as well. Yeah. This is becoming a bit more interesting. Like, I thought that could be a 1. Well, it didn't, because that's a 4. But of course it can't be, because of it's being the same. So things like this. This guy has to be made out of a 1, 2, and then a 3 separately, doesn't he? Annoyingly, that can be a 9. So you can have a 4, 5 and a 9, can't you? It's got 5 gaps. Because that's... I mean, that one as well, but some of these are interesting in as much as they're quite small, all of them. So, for example, he sums to at most 36. It's not exactly small, is it? Does it have to? Is that the point? What do you reckon? Do you reckon by an hour we'll have seen where to go? So this row got 4 empty gaps. What? And no, because it could just be very small. What am I trying to say? Because gaps can be as big as they want. They're not just a single cell. Yeah. No, that is not a thought. It's helpful at all. I reckon by half an hour in, I'm gonna have a look at the break-in hint. I'd say I've got through JJSS2. I don't think I can manage a 6-hour solve today. That was with quite a few hints as well. But I'm running out of things to be thinking about. It's 3 with his 1, 2, and then 5 gaps. Gap 3, gap 1, 2, gap 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 gaps, yeah. Hang on. Any row and column has strictly one more. Yeah, it's limited to one more, isn't it? But the point, or one of the points is any row or column has a gap of one more of its number of JS clues. Looks like this sort of thing with gaps on either end. If you're exact, oh yeah, I forget that you can look like that and have a region border. But if you're exactly the same, you could either be split by a region border and then have gaps on either end. Or what? Or you have gaps on one end but not the other. I think it's where I'm getting at. And then that thing's with only one gap. Does that tell? No, because the gap could be massive. Harumph. Go on, use your brain. What's... It's gonna be... Do I want to look out for the break-in? So... Alrighty. I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Let's have a look at hint at the break-in. There are very few places for 2 clues in JSS. Oh yeah. That is extremely true, isn't it? And I said, and yeah, so none of these. Oh, that's definitely not what I was thinking about, was it? Get rid of all that. Get rid of all that. So none of these are ever going to be a 2 on its own. Implying that this 2 comes down. Oh, I didn't think that this would actually be the break-in. That's very weird. And this, oh, that could be a 2. That could also potentially be a 2. So that's, I use pink as not a region. So we definitely have at least 1, 2 horizontal clue, which could be this guy. He could be one of these. Oh, and of course this is pink. Yeah, you can already start to. Yeah, don't forget the 2x2s. So precisely one of these 2. Green. Can I really fit extra 2s in? That one's green. What's interesting as well now is because this acts as a giant tree. Never touch itself again. Which I find so strange. Yeah, I really didn't. Well, I should have expected those 2s to help. I definitely didn't. But I was just wondering if that is useful in terms of things like 1s. Yeah, but not really. This guy, we found 1 gap. This guy. So what could this second one be? It's a chance of being either of these 2. You could be this guy. Yeah, can you be this guy? Oh, what am I on about? Those can't be 2s. Yeah. What am I on about? Literally none of those can be 2s. So this row is exactly. I want to mark this. Mark it A and right there. I can write there. A and A be the same, and those 2s exactly those twos. So if this didn't come out, oh, and then you've only got 1, 2, so that has to come out, right? And that's now pink. There's not checkerboardy. Yeah, I don't think there's anything checkerboardy. So this guy is either a 1, 3 or a 4 now, judging by that. Yeah. Could come back in the region. He possibly has to come back into the region. Maybe, but not sure. None of these can be twos. That is literally the only two. So that implies that anywhere else I find a 2 in the grid, it has to have both come up and it must be connected vertically and horizontally in some fashion. Oh, and it's a 4, isn't it? Certainly is going to struggle to be a 1, 3. It's the state of my brain at the moment. Cool. So do we struggle to find something that's a 6? Is it going to be that sort of thing we need to look at? And this guy, he can escape relatively easily, can't he? Hmm. That I'm proud at least that I've got another digit. It's not from a hint immediately anyway. I'll have to see if that continues. Because I'm immediately, again, unsure of myself of what to look out for. If he's dropping back in, it's either for 20 something or yeah, for the 1, 3. This could be anything. It's being at least 6. Is that something? Stuff with gaps. Yes, yeah, stuff with gaps. Okay. Right. This A only has a single gap. So we know this is a region, and it's definitely a new region. So that's either part of the 1, 3 stuff. That's part of 20 something. Be as short as 3. 1 gap. Oh, but you know it's at least 2 cells long. So this is either yellow or pink. It's not a new region, or else you get a 2 by 2. It's either 1, 3, or it's not associated with 1 and 3. Worth sort of crossing off stuff as we go. Probably not. So what's the other one that's associated with a single gap? It's this guy, because I was just wondering about if he's... as soon as he's got a gap somewhere, then Then you couldn't be part of this sort of thing. If green just kept on its merry way and never jumped back down, that seems like that would be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So green would take those cells, and that causes an issue because of 2x2s. That means that if that was all green, then because you've got something that comes out as another at least 2 cells in here, that's going to be a problem. So green at some point does drop back in, and it then what am I trying to say? It then, and of course it could drop in, keep coming down. Which I hadn't really thought about. I thought it was there and then sort of there for good. But let's now think about this top side, perhaps, because surely we're going to be incredibly restricted in terms of which one of these that could now be, given that along here we're only allowed to be pink, yellow, or green. 6, 7, 8. So all along here is pink, yellow, or green. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because you got to take at least 2 cells, and none of those are green. Yeah, and it would have to look something like that if that was the case. Because I'm just thinking about, for example, this top one, which I'm going to call B. If I could find where my letters have gone. There they are. Let's think about what can't be B. I want to say this is not B because that would be the only gap. And then you'd only have pink and yellow making up 4 different things to imply that green sort of comes back down. And yeah. That's just not happening, is it? We're 1 down, 10 to go, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 9 to go. Easy. So this has to be the next thing, doesn't it? Because there's not really anything else you can do. So along here, what's the max? Are you going to have to be that one? It's the maximum number of clues. No, because yellow could also jump back up. No, I think. You know that none of these are pink. Yeah, because pink can charge through green. Right, there you go, there's something. So these are all yellow. Yellow is the 27, 20 something. I think, I feel like I'm sure it's 27 for some reason. So yeah, annoyingly, yellow could just have a whole bunch of crowns, couldn't it? Rather strangely. These do come from this. So they definitely have a 5. And they can't take another cell, can they? God, that's weird. So that is strictly what yellow looks like. That is mighty strange. Green takes 2 of these and is a 1-3. Oh, and of course, because there's only one pink. Yeah, there's only one pink. So that's the only way that works. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have a region. Region found alert. This is pink. Amazing. Now, what's the maximum number of regions along here? It's going to be 3. I think. Yeah, it's going to be 3. And yellow is going to be a crown. So it's a good choice of colours, really, wasn't it? We're going to have quite a big boy, which is at least, well, we know exactly what it is, in fact, don't we? It's like 37 or something. So it's certainly not this row. This precisely corresponds to that, and because that row has 4 gaps, you also know that that's yellow and that is pink. 4 gaps. One of them is a 3. The other one's a question mark. Oh, hang on a moment. The other one's a 4, in fact. Interesting. And question mark is 37, he said. More progress. Can't believe it. Whoops. Not like that, there isn't. Alrighty. Massive. Solve. We've got some single digit things which I don't think are useful at all. Although, are we now being restricted in terms of where these guys go? What? Because these are 4 columns. Ha! Yeah, we totally are, aren't we? So, they're obviously none of this. Oh, they can go there. But what I wanted to say is I don't think they can correspond exactly to all 4 of these. Because that's way too much in yellow. Yeah, that's way too much in yellow. Far too much in yellow. And so if this one, that's the only one that could correspond to one of these 4. If this one corresponds to one of these 4, it'd have to be 3 and 8. Be the 11. At that point, you know at least 2 of them correspond to the yellows. This guy would be 11, 11, 11, 11 with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps. Would be the only way that 11, 11, 11, 11 would work. This guy is almost interesting if that had to be a 1. That was a 1. That would be that guy. Does he struggle to be 1, 4? No, there's plenty of freedom there, isn't there? No, hang on. What? How does this work? 1, 4. Thing summing to 10, thing summing to 10, thing summing to 10. Yeah, that has to have, so that's a 3 and a 1. A very, very roundabout way. It can't be a 1 on its own. Which means this now can't be the 11. Of course it does. Cool. Nice. Awesome. So this guy is exactly one of these. Should mark that like that, really, shouldn't I? And we do have a whole bunch of this stuff in part of yellow. 3 out of 4. Because I said it can't be all 4. That's too much. And these 3 already sum to 38. I was worried you had to add 2 on, but you only add on 1. What's interesting there is that's the strict minimum. So if I mark that as B and that as C, I want to say that because that's adding 8 and you're already at minimum 38, both B and C have to be part of these big boys as well. And you can't be, that guy can't be A because they sum to 42 and you're adding at least 5 on. So that's not A. Those would work just about. And I'll be and C's being these 11s. I did work out that actually had no, because we're touching. So if this guy was B or even C, nice. It would be nice if it didn't be either. If it could be either. It'd have to look like this, wouldn't it? Because otherwise you don't get enough gaps. Because you're already touching. Yeah. Whereas this, let's say this one was all our 11s. You could be 2 yellows like that and like 2 oranges, 2 reds. Those. So that's not as restricted because it's not touching an edge already. Not. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yellow's coming out of here. So how many of these guys can be yellow? At most 2. So, because what I'm thinking about is if, say, that guy is yellow, then where am I going with this? Then because it pinks both of those, I'm not entirely sure. Going with this. I'm going to grab a quick break and then come back in a couple of minutes. Alrighty, we're back. I like ABS pause feature. I didn't know about it for a while. We've also got a cat. Don't know how long he'll stay. Alright, let's see if I can remember what I was thinking about. So we were going by these yellow cells coming down and how you sort of struggle to grow this region in terms of how it drops. Well, how much we got left to place in this region as well? We've got 1s and 2s, of which you know that you can never have another horizontal 2 on its own. I'm pretty sure. Can never have another horizontal 2 on its own. So that 2 is always going to have to be associated with something else at least. No matter which row and column it goes into. So for example, yellow can't stretch all the way down to here, which genuinely might be something of interest, maybe. I feel like there's a chance of that being the case. That boy. This is what we've got. Yeah, we've got 6 so far. You can never have 2 just hanging out on its own. And we do know that because these guys, what I will do, because this one can't be, we know that this is strictly A, B, C, and D. We've said this one can't be A. I think. Yeah, it can't be A. And then I wanted to mark that one of these was D. Because the point is one of these 2 do grow. And let's say it was this one that grew. That would have to be this. As soon as that's got a 5, that satisfies the 20 something, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure. Because that would mean that couldn't be a 2. Something like this. And B and C now, because they're at most 13. If this guy comes down, these 2 have to strictly be associated with these 2. Yeah, that looks true. And is it... So I'm saying you can't come down 3. Sorry, you can't come down 4. Is it the case? Trouble is this could get pretty... Yeah. So these 2 are associated with 11 and 13 exactly. I.e., so if this comes down, one of these is precisely 4, 9, and the other one is precisely 3 and 8. Four, 9, 3, 8. Four, 9, 3, 8. So, what I'm wondering about, yes, because this would have to come out again, because it couldn't be either of these 2, and that has sum of most 13. And what am I going with? Tick, 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 tick. Use the brain. Where am I going with this? I genuinely have no idea. B and C would be those 2. And with that flanking these, whichever one is associated with the 11 would have to do that sort of pattern. Obviously, that couldn't be yellow. Be a new color, but that seems okay. The other one being 13 and 29. Can't really see an issue. And with 2 gaps. And 29 with 2 gaps. Oh, hang on a minute. The 11. Yeah, the 11 clue has to strictly be one of these. Because it's not this. Is that more interesting than I think? I'm on the verge of the next step. Next step of how many, I don't know. Time is it? It's 20 to 8. See if we get this done before midnight. Hopefully. So that was assuming that neither B nor C grew. And if, well, actually, if C grows, that breaks. Yeah. If C grows, that breaks because as soon as that's yellow, both of those have to be pink, and then D doesn't work. So yellow doesn't, this doesn't grow, and therefore here's from both of those. Put a C back there. In fact, get rid of a C from there. This has to be at least 11. Certainly not 5. If he is the 11, then things happen. Strictly one of these two grow, but that doesn't imply that this has to. $11. No, we've definitely got the 11. If you didn't have the 13, then all you'd be left over with would be a 5. They'd have to sum to 11, 14, and 15, respectively. Here you'd have 1, 2, something vaguely big. No, because then this could grow. If this guy grows, maybe that's also a problem. It would be nice if it was a problem. Let's see if it is a problem. It implies that you grow like that and like that. This guy can no longer be the 11, could it? So there's 11, 11, 11. 11, there's only 3 gaps. Can this guy be the 11? That would have to be pink, of course. Well, that's no, that's not always pink, but oh, it is as well always pink because one of these has to grow. So I'm trying to go with if this. I started off with saying if this grows, and this also grows, it couldn't be a 2 again. If it was a 1, it would have to grow again. D leads into one of these. That would, of course, not be allowed to grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got one more cell. Wow, that breaks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Because where are you putting a 2? Yeah, that breaks. That's so weird. Because the 2 can't be on its own horizontally. And this puzzle. So that's not 5 or 6. And that is strictly a BC pair. So one of them is 13 and the other one's 11. Cool. One of these is the 11, implying the existence of this pattern somewhere. The other one being the 13. Yeah, that is interesting because in both cases you need to have a gap next. I don't think both of these can come out. If both of these come out, you have the exact same problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 2's on its own somewhere, which isn't allowed. That was a 2. It's so strong in this puzzle. So weird. So if this guy comes out, then you strictly have to do this. And interestingly, that would be pink because otherwise you get a loop. If this guy comes out, trouble is you can then turn that way, can't you? Although you actually can't, because if you turn like that, well, no, so if you turn like that, then this guy would be the 11, because then this couldn't grow again. Yeah, and these are all big, so I've broken the puzzle. No, what have I done? What have I done? Oh no. Well, that didn't take long. So what I'm worried about is the fact that I seem to be hitting a region that would have to grow but can't, no matter which one of these I come out of. No. So what is literally all of this incorrect? Oops. That's allowed to be 1 on its own. I thought I looked at that. 1, 2, 6. Oh my days, that has 4 gaps, doesn't it? Alrighty, well. It's not too far to go back, I don't think. This is a puzzle I should have been checking more rigorously. See if things were broken or not. So the good news is I can do a bunch of the logic I've done in yellow before, or I could say, let me see if I can say, assume that this isn't part of this group of things. A, B, C, and D. Assume that isn't part of A, B, C, and D. What that means with this is one of these two grow, so that would have to be stopped. If this one tried to grow, you're going to run into a problem that either of those could be 2s, and then 2s would be on their own. That breaks. So this guy would be there and stop. If both of them try to come out, that's a problem. So one of them has to do like that, but that breaks, and that breaks. So I can... Now I've done about half an hour of what I was looking at previously. I can see that this does have to be the 11, but... I mean, I hope so. Okay, that is the 11. I don't particularly like it. I'll go with it at the moment. Now, I suppose you do also know that this has to relate to B, C, or D. Because this can't take 2 of them. So this guy is R11 with 2 gaps. So doesn't that have to look like this? With 4 gaps. I'm pretty sure that's the only way that works. Which is maybe interesting given... Oh, given this is this one. And we know what the 1 looks like. Yeah. Okay. So maybe we're back more on a roll. Because you've got a 1, you've got a bunch of 2s, and you've got a 4, and you've got 4 gaps to play with. So how many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 things in total, which is maximum. So all of our doubles have to be doubles, if that makes sense. And obviously they can't line up with these doubles, which is going to be interesting. So if I'm going to be ticking that check mark quite a bit more than now. If I don't know why I didn't think that worked. If the doubles, just going to get rid of orange for the moment and think about how this would look. So let's say that was a 4. Then you have to go blank, double. That's double. Blank, double, blank, double. It's the only way you get in 3 more blanks. Not true. Everything could just be shifted, couldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a lot of freedom there, isn't there? Strange. This is definitely true, though, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. Well, we will find out. Possibly. Yeah, no, that's got to be the only way that works, I think. Of course, the C is just a 4 on its own. Right, so we found A and C. Yeah, this is part of B. Oh, I forgot. I shouldn't call that C. Let's call that E. That's about to confuse me a lot. So I need to force C and D into these guys, don't I? Which, can I use what I was looking at before to try and make that a problem, I wonder? If this guy grew, I would obviously make those empties. Trouble is that one of these could be 13. So I was going to say that because one of these is then... I was hoping it basically forced this to grow as well. So if this guy grows, this isn't allowed to grow, is what I've been saying. So you'd have to look like this shape, with one of these being yellow. Why might that be a problem? What it does is it says that that would then be a full region. It says that this column isn't B, C, or D. C or D. So this would be C being 13. And that would be D. That'll be 30. Yeah, no, hang on. Going all the way back to this. Oh, no, that doesn't help, actually, I don't think. So one of these would be the 13. Another one would sum to 14 or 15. And then this one would be part of something else. Because now we've only got to fit in 2 more of these. That's where I'm sort of going with what I'm going with. 13. So this would sum to at least 14. So what, that would be a 1 or 2. 2's in here. And of course that would have to be 1 because you can't have a 2 on its own vertically, and that breaks because you can't have a 1 on its own vertically. Okay. Weird, but at least this guy doesn't grow. Which doesn't mean he's pink, it just means he doesn't grow. And if neither of these did grow, say, if neither of these did grow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, you'd have to look like this. Where would the 2 be hidden? There. Where would the 1 be hidden? Couldn't go 2, 1. Because that's not enough now. Yeah. So exactly one of these do grow, so that it is pink. There's no 2 by 2. And if this one did grow, or if this one doesn't grow, and this one does grow, again, exact same problem. No, because you can hide a horizontal one. Hang on a minute, you can hide a horizontal one, no issue. It's only vertical ones. Wasn't that only because that couldn't be a 1-2 pair? That would have to be, and then yeah, that was it. Okay. One of these 2 does grow. If this one doesn't grow at all, this one grows like this, and then has got to turn. And this guy couldn't be 1 or 2, so that would have to be a 1-2 pair. This would have to be 4 and 9. But then you just about get big enough. Anything wrong with that? That would have to be a 1. So that's if... Of course, this cell could go on either side. That's if this doesn't grow. Oh, but... And then that's a 14. It'd have to be that column. Should have to be that column with a 29 somewhere in the middle. You're fine to be a horizontal one. Maybe it can't grow. Let's consider it growing. This guy grows, then it makes this pink, which is maybe interesting, given what's happening down here. We can just group up a bunch of... I mean, that couldn't immediately then be a question mark. That's either a 4 on its own, or it's another pink. Another pink again. 1, 2. No, you need 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3 doubles and a 4. Oh, but yeah, the 4 just attaches to it. I forget that that's allowed. But this can't be a double. If at this point that was pink, then you have run out of space. So this would strictly be the 4. If this grows, strictly be the 4. Orange is just like some color. Then you need to fit in. I'm so confused about how all these doubles fit. Oh no, they just touch. Yeah, they just touch. What? Does that work like this? No, if you're like this, you now need 2 pinks. You need 6 cells for the doubles, and you need 1 cell for the 4. Which is 9, which is too much. So that would have to be coloured, and it would have to be the 4. But that also breaks. So this pink now, double, double, double. No, that seems fine. Well, no, because if that's pink, and then you can't fit everything in. So that would be double. That would be pink. And then, yeah, that's just broken because of 2x2. So all in all, I think this can't come out because of this pink. Going all the way back, I think this cell can't be pink. This cell's pink, that also can't be pink. That would have to be your 4. Now that would be pink. And now you got to fit. It's a bit like the game with sliding stuff up and down, isn't it? You're always ending up with 2x2s. Okay. This cell cannot be pink, so that cell has to be pink. The cell is filled and has to come out. Orange isn't the same region still. So now we do come out in a straight line. Was this... Oh no, that was okay, wasn't it? So... Oh, and of course this is pink. So do we reckon that... Yeah, that has to be one of our double question marks, doesn't it? That's one of them placed. Then down here we've got 2 double question marks, a 4, and then 2 pinks that we've got to hide somewhere. So that cell can't be pink, that's got to be orange. And if he was the 4 on his own, and you could fit the doubles like that only, or if he's a doubler, he's a double question mark, that would be pink. One of these would be pink. Yeah, that seems to work as well, doesn't it? I can't remember where. I said doubler, doubler, doubler. Yeah, that can't be pink. That had to be orange. I think. I should have marked at what point I started testing. I'll call it testing rather than bifurcation. If that cell's pink. If that cell's pink, we had a problem, didn't we? Right. If I'm bifurcating. If that cell's pink, then where do you put the other 2 oranges? No, that works with that and that. So that's okay. So this was true, I think. Although I haven't changed anything. I'll tick a tick mark. So if we're coming down and around like this has to be... Yeah. If this cell's pink now, we have to look like this, because you can never have a horizontal 2. The trouble is you can never have a vertical 1 or 2. So that would be a 1-2 pair, and then because the A is already taken, that just straight up does not work. So that's pink, that's yellow and yellow. And that's interesting because where is C and D? These are C and D. And big. C and D. In fact, that has to be a 4-9 to be C. And yeah, that just straight up has to be C. Which is going to be interesting in as much as where am I going with this? And of course the yellow does turn, so that does have to be a 1-2 pair. Okay. I might have actually started understanding this puzzle. Possibly. Maybe. So do we know which one's B and which one's D? If D related to this guy... that seems okay, doesn't it? Yeah. Not really a problem at all. What's AEC stand for? The 29 up and down's got to be doing something, hasn't it? Especially with a 9 gone now. What does that sum to? That sums to 29. So you take at least 5 of these cells, which implies that one. Yeah. You can't take this cell, because there you take all of those, and then the doubles would run into problems. So you definitely take that cell as well. If you took those cells as well, then you are struggling with the doubles. So you don't take that one. That one is pink. I think that meant something as well. If I can work out what it is. Yeah, that can't be pink now because then they're all doubles. So that's got to be a doubler. That's got to be pink. 2, 3, 4, and orange. Okay. Nice. All right. Oh, and of course this sums to 6. So that has to be an 8. And be this one. Hadn't noticed that. D and B. Lovely. I got a high 5 for that one. So C... Oh, C in 29. C in 29. So they're all orange. I can't believe that we're making progress. And that's the 14D. Huh. So that has to be pink because it's 3 and only 2 clues. Is that 4? So they're all the things that sum to 11. E is that's a 4. I'll try not to do it on literally every single deduction. That also looks like that, because that's the only way 29 works. And they're all the same region, in fact, aren't they? So I'm going to... Not going to do that. We're going to do... Let's do another green region. And hope that it doesn't... Oh, actually, probably will touch that. Let's do another blue region. They are all the same region, as is that guy, because it can only come through into here. That can't be region, or else you make a loop. That's going to start being very powerful, isn't it? Once you start having lots of these guys. Oh, and of course that means that's our last yellow. Lovely. Yeah, once you start having lots of these guys placed, it's going to really start to force a bunch of things, isn't it? Wow, words. They were not very well eloquently put, I don't think. So blue region needing a 1. How many cells has it taken? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It could get a 1 from a lot of places, couldn't it? Just thinking the fact that this has to come down as a region, but it's not really much, and like all of those are the same region, which isn't blue at least. So you can be another green. Funsies. Did we know? No, we don't know what A actually is. A is just 2 question mark. And B, we don't know either. D, that's a 14, but yeah. It's true. Oh, no, hang on a minute. If that was 14, they'd all be 14s leaving 3, which doesn't work. If that was 15, that also doesn't work. So that last one does some 16 or 17. And isn't the point that you are going to have to use all of your digits because you've already got the 1, 2, and 3? Yeah. Yeah. So we are using all of the digits in this thing. And we have 3 holes. So doesn't that imply that the holes have to be taking like that? Yeah, it totally does, doesn't it? I think. I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, it's got to. So these are either 15 and 16, which works. Which works in one way with a 6, 9, and then a 4, 5, 7. Or they're 14 and 17. Works with a 5, 9, and then a 4, 6, and 7. Yeah. Both of those are true. Oh, and don't forget as well with loops. Being wary of loops between these sort of things. Obviously, we're going to need some regions down here, aren't we? Oh, we've got to, haven't we? Pretty sure. But they do either all have to attach off, or some of them could attach off this. Some of them could peer into the void over here. But I think that is pretty good progress. As we go. Oh, and of course... No, because you can... No. Those are regions now, aren't they? And both of them grow, of course. So one of them's 2 cells long and the other one's 3 cells long. And they are strictly regions. Same thing with that all being blue. Oh, and of course, same thing with these guys. Those 2 are always the same colour. Those 2 are always the same colour. these two and these two, and these two are always the same colour, so that is green. Which, of course, it had to be because both of those had to grow. Is that... No, because we know they're the same region. I was just thinking that because this strictly can't be blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Annoyingly, it could be green. This couldn't be green, so this is a new color. The yellow, because you're not touching that. So this guy is either yellow or blue. I think I will do that. And if he was blue, he'd strictly be a 2-9 pair, which he could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was just wondering about if like, can one of those be a 17? Probably. If it was 17, yeah, you could, excuse me, you could be a 3-7 and a 5-6. Ha. Yeah, don't forget these do sum to 11. So, yeah, none of those are 1. Yeah, so blue... So I doubt blue can do that, because that would be implied. Yeah. So blue gets its 1 from this column. That can't be blue. I was thinking it could, but the only way it's blue is like that, and then you get a 1 up and down, which you can't. So you've already used that 1. I feel like I should really have some notes of where some things can't be, like the fact that we've used up all our 1s and 2s vertically and all our 2s horizontally. But I don't think that helps all that much. Alrighty. So, I mean, if that's yellow, we were saying this is a new color. See, yet again, make it green, because it can't be blue because of the whole one vertical thing. Green's going to need to take 9 cells. Oh, and this. How on earth are these both going to fit? Oh, yeah. Right. These can't be the same color. So if they were different colors, then you're going to run into a whole bunch of problems, aren't you? Because you got, what, 4 cells of freedom? I don't... Is there an easy way to count this? 1 cell of freedom, 2 cell... Oh yeah, no, 1 cell, 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cells of freedom. So then literally everything else would have to be filled and it just doesn't work. So the point is, both of these two are the same color. And... oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, sorry. Hopefully I turned away enough. And then the other thing, of course, is I know that these are strictly everything other than 1, 2, 3, and an 8. So what green is going to have to do is, let's just say, for example, that this... Actually, no, because I think it's more... it's more open like that. I was wondering if it had to come down this side. If it came down side like that. And of course, no, it needs four cells, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, and 8. There's nothing vertical that has... Yeah. So if you were vertical on this left-hand side, you would be... if you were vertical on this left-hand side, the problem with that is you've only got one more green cell here, but you've got nothing that's 3 long and doesn't go into the double digits. So green has to loop round on this side. So I can keep those two green. And one of them go, so it goes like that or like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So obviously that can't be anything. And the same here and the same here. Weirdly, you could do shapes like that. So, and then this, right, this is now, and this now can't connect to yellow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So he has to connect to blue somehow. That could be like from blue's accord. Even if that cell's blue, work. Ah, but then let's do the same thing up and down here. Because if there was another green cell on this, if there was a 9th green cell over here, something like that, say, then blue would have to go 1, 2, and 1. Oh no. Oh, could it do that? Oh no, it can't do that because that makes a loop. Can't see any loops there. And that does just about work with a 2, 9 here. No, because this is then a 1. And you can't get another vertical 1. Because again, thinking about the vertical breakups. So I can pink both of those cells. And the other green has to go in here on its own. And has to help out. Well, it potentially could be all the way down there. But looking at this sort of thing, I know, because can you now be in a group of 4, I wonder? You probably can, actually, can't you? I don't know why, by the way, that I started off. Well, actually, it did sort of help. Well, given I didn't notice the 2. You're trying to pencil mark this as if that would actually help early on. I was so naive 2 hours ago. Feels quite a lot of that way sometimes. So the singular green obviously can't be a 1 or a 2. So 1s and 2s would be up and down here. So it's either a 3 or an 8. And if that took blue, yeah, that Oh, for a very trivial reason, that can't be blue because you then get a 1 on its own, and the 1 can't be on its own. Which I think I've been saying. Oh, right, so where does this 1 go? Which has to come here. It's got to sort of dangle off the end and be connected to some stuff. So the 1 drops somewhere down here. One drops somewhere down here. Obviously not all the way there. So if that was the 1, that would be 1, 2, 9 making 11. The problem with that is you're then forced again into this, which doesn't line up with the 1, 2, 3, and 8 that you'd get from green. So I don't think that's one. And this is always blue, because otherwise you're not going to connect to that, are you? So I can pink this. And if blue obviously can't cut into here because then green's looping around like hanging the mo. Yeah, green's, if blue cuts in, green goes like that. And that can't be pink, because then that'll be 1 that's saying. So that's definitely blue. Therefore, this can't be the shape. No, that doesn't make a loop. How do you get away with not making loops so much? But I'm definitely narrowing down on what this column can be. Let's call it F. Because let's say this bottom cell was blue. Again, it's almost to 11, 12, and I think I was saying 11 previously. So you'd have to be that, which doesn't work. So that's not blue. And you do then get another of blue somewhere vertically, which again can't be a 2 on its own. Yes. So one of these two is a blue. And if that's a blue, then you definitely do make a loop no matter what. So this is the other blue. And it can't be a 1 on its own. And it can't be a 2 on its own. So I want to make that a 9. Okay. Sorry, because I feel a bit cheeky testing that sort of thing, but I forgot the blue could take this, but there was the same argument that blue can't take that. With the 1 being on its own. But I'm just terrified of making a mistake. So I will check that sort of thing, I'm afraid. If this cell's green, you're definitely making a loop. I've said that, yeah, so that has to be your other green. So I suspect we're maybe this guy for F. Or a bunch of single digits. I suppose we're oh no, count pinks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pinks. Lovely. This is F. Amazing progress. Sort of. Yeah, no, I think this is acceptable. Why can this still go either way around? And we know we've got 2 3s, so that definitely is a 3. Or other 3. Now I'm gonna not tick it. I'm gonna be brave. And then this is relating to that, and that's relating to the 9. I don't think that's that interesting to consider. Just wondering about putting a marker to show that that's happy. C's happy. D's basically happy. Oh, well, I'll say that. It needs a bit of work, doesn't it? So, is orange going to... No, because I was saying that orange and green... Orange and green can't be the same colour, can they? Silly. Can orange and yellow? No, for the same reason. Yeah. So this gets to be its own colour. Gonna make... just call it orange. It's fine. Orange is acceptable. Connections and loops, they're both happy either way around, aren't they? Hang on a minute. If that looked like that, right? Be a horizontal. That would have to be 1 and 8. If it does this. But I think that's okay. Oh, this guy. What's this guy relating to? He's got to relate to this. Yeah. G and G. And therefore, that's going to be 5 and 7. And this is going to be 1, 2, 8, 11. Nice. Very good. It's got these guys left to deal with. And interestingly, or maybe interestingly, this one might do something. How many regions have we found? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. That's always exciting in chaos constructions. And you start getting that close. This guy has a whole bunch of singular digits. Might be interesting to consider. Is there any other Sudoku or anything that we can do? Yeah, that's a 6. F. That's a 6. That's fine. All right, that's not a 7. This. So it's probably going to be thinking about these guys, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just looking back at stuff. The other things to consider, of course, is the fact that how this is all connected. Obviously, this guy isn't connected, but everything else is. So we're not allowed to make any loop motions up through there. Is it worth considering that these all sum to 11? Do I know what E? No, don't really know anything about this. Right, let's think about C and D. So C is going to come from one of these. Therefore needs exactly 4 groups of pink. So that can't all be pink. So C in fact is one of these guys. So he hasn't got 3 areas. He's also not this one because we've got at least 3 singles. So we in fact have exactly 3 singles. One of them being a 1. Just realised, of course, both of those couldn't be 1s. So you'd have 2 1s in the grid. One of them's a 1. One of them's at least a 4. The other one's also at least a 4. and D. So D definitely got a couple of singletons. Oh, it was all because of that one, wasn't it? I was trying to work out why I knew that C had got there. Yeah, so D is so much less powerful, isn't it? Because I suppose at least with C, yeah, you know that that's going to be a doubler thing growing, but that ain't much. So it is honest work. I keep on going back to that. I need to get over the fact that I don't think this can be done. Probably will be looked at near the end, maybe. Probably. Oh, this guy being B. We've got one of these that sums to 15. And one that could also sum to 15. It's feeling spicy. Taking a complete other step. Is things like this actually really interesting? Oh, this of course has to be a 1 because he is just a 1 on his own. Because you can't get another 2 on its own horizontally. Yeah, so this row applies to one of these guys. Which could be interesting. If you loop like that, then that would have to be an 8. If you loop like this, that could be 1 or 8. Yeah, at that point it's less fussy, isn't it? But still, that was another couple of digits. I'll reward myself with a tick mark. Allow myself to know I'm still vaguely on the right track. So you've got at least 2 things that come out of the bottom here, because everything has at least 3 clues. You doing, my boy? And 2 things that come out the bottom. I'm not sure if they do help as much as I thought, actually. Is it more going to be maybe looking at things that are now tricky to place on the things like 5 question marks and 5 gaps? Is that tricky to place? Wouldn't have thought so. Really. I don't want to do a sort of mark it all and then have far too much to deal with. Having said that, maybe I will. Oh, here's a thought, because you can't have a horizontal 2. Like none of those cells could be 2. I was hoping 2 would just be taken out of E entirely. I don't think it is. Right, I'm going to give myself to 125 and then I'll have a look at another hint, I think. So I'm slowing down again. Yeah, this guy needs pinks on either side, doesn't he? Could potentially just be that. Yeah. They reached another point of there's a lot of things that you can look at. It's definitely not clear where is best to go from. Star 4. Every little helps. Come on, Joan. Use your brain. So these things, as they sort of cannon out, if it was yellow coming out the top here, because they're not allowed to take both of those. I mean, it can't. This one can't be that one because then all those would be filled. Oh, is that genuinely interesting? Where's E? Because E's certainly not C or D because you get a big old loop. That's not E, 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 and that's not E. Why is E so restricted? Is that's a real 4, isn't it? I am going to have to make it be, yeah, it's a real 4. Because it's interesting what it does to this, and I couldn't tell. Yeah, let's make these real. I think that is for the best. And I think also once I've made them real, shall I highlight them? I was getting worried that they do all have to be 11s because the point is they miss a 1, don't they? I think no, I'll leave it like that for the Mo. And that is whatever that sums to. 37. I can't. If this works, I'm genius. No, not really. Or I could do that, couldn't I? Oh, because it outlines the question marks as well. Is that? That's black, apparently. It's fine. Right. Go back to thinking about E. So E only has a couple of options. Which this one, that one doesn't even have a single pink in yet. So he's quite a strong contender. Whereas this is already has some pinks. That would imply that all of those had to be filled to the brim. Which one do I want to try and disprove? Whatever this is. Yeah, so if this row is E, right? Then I know, because that could be the 27. Neither of those are obviously the 27. But neither of them are the 3 either. So these two would both have to be question mark, question mark. Implying That's at least that, and that's also at least that. So that, but no, that's true because of this 4. So obviously, like that couldn't be an 8, and that, if you look like this, yeah, I'll be okay because that'll be 8 and 1. Don't seem to have a problem with that. Oh, hang on. If you did this, right, that would be your pink. If, that's only if this is E. It's the other one that I'm saying could be E. This guy. So if this guy is E, implies that all of these cells, I'm going to do dark blue for, these are cells that have been filled. If I'm thinking about, is this E? This would obviously have to be green because that would be pink. Green's got to grow. And where would your 3 be? Where would your 27 be? This isn't that big because these sum to at most 15. So that strictly is from 5, 6, or 7. This guy would have to be one of those two. Doesn't really have a problem doing so. That would be 8, wouldn't it, with a 1 and a 2. Three and 27, eh? Oh, and there's 4 things. Do I really want to be thinking about? Well, I've still got that one region to play with. Like this would be a new region color. Let's call you yellow. But you couldn't be part of this yet. Could be part of that. No. You use something like this. Eldritch horror. No, not really. Oh, Steph. What was the word? I don't think it's whatever I said. Something horror. And they can't get across to orange. That's too much. So if this row is E, we've found our 9th region. But that's not exactly a problem, having that region exist. In fact, it's kind of a plus. Of course, what I want to do is just let's make that 5, 6, and 7. There's 7, then 7 or 8. Yeah, so what I want to do is properly make sure that anything it's just me thinking about this, because this would imply all of that, this being E, would imply all of this happening, which of course implies all of this is getting very bifurcating. Which implies all of this, which implies that the 3 is a 3 on its own. This would be green, this would be pink, this would be a new region. They would all be... Well, they'd... You'd have to have a third colour region in here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's could green pop back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. Oh, I could do that. Oh. No. No, because 27 needs at least 4 things. '27 needs at least 4 things. Oh, this is so weird. And I feel like there's an obvious reason why perhaps this breaks, being E. Maybe this just isn't the next thing to think about. At the moment, I'm vaguely still making progress, but I will have a look at the hint again in a second. Because at the moment, I am literally just bifurcating. Let's go back and have a look at a hint. So I am going around in circles at the moment. Right, okay. General hint. Found it very helpful to formulate a relationship between the gap clues and the number of JSS regions. So that's that. If you're in this sort of situation with one more gaps and Fs, you have to start and end on a pink. So that would imply something like this. But I'm this. But I'm not sure what else. Is there anything else strong like that? I don't think so. Oh, hang on a minute. Gap equals number of JSS regions minus 1 plus 1 if the row or column starts with empty. Yeah, so it's one long formula. How can I have more gaps than JSS clues? Yeah. How can a row that starts empty have this many gaps? How can a row with 2 adjacent regions have this many gaps, etc.? I don't think I fully understand points. Right. And one of the sticking point hints is think about where the region containing the long run in column 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that the long run in column 9? It might be. column 9. Or that. Oh no, maybe I think it's maybe asking where this all gets stuff. D, by the way, with this 9. Not exactly saying much, is it? Neat. If green ever does this, black marker bifurcation, red marker bifurcation up. If green ever does this, then that would imply that this had to be E. These would all be filled. That would be pink. That would have to be orange. This would have to be 8. 2 and 1. This would have to be 8. This would have to sum to the 5 or 7. The 3 would have to be on its own, so that would be 5. This would sum to 7. We're now entirely full. So this would have to be a 3 on its own. Oh, just... Sorry, I'm a bit of an idiot. That's just way too many digits in a row. Okay, so we know we do strictly look like this. 1, 2, 8, 4, 5, 6. There was something that always had to go. Like, didn't 9s always have to go in here? Yeah, 9s always have to go in there, don't they? But at that point, anything goes. This couldn't be a 2 on its own. That has to be an 8, 1, 2. Okay. Okay. Good. Very good. So sort of back to where we were. No, we've made a bit of progress. Let's go back to the black marker of bifurcation. If this is E, then you'd have a 3 on its own. This would have to be orange growing a fair bit. You'd have a 3 on its own somewhere. That couldn't be 10, sorry. So this is from 7, 8, or 9. That's basically from whatever. Except you know that you're now full. Oh, yeah, because this would need 4 things. 3 would be strictly on its own, either here or here, with a couple of pinks. That would have to be like that. Leaves 5 and 7 either which way around. And that all seems to work. that could be 9 and 6. Be 7 and 6 and 8. But humbug. That seems okay. And you can find something that breaks. Just the knowledge. No. That all seems okay. So let's have a look at the other one being E, even though I'm a bit worried that we have already. Kinda. So if this one's E, then all this becomes filled. Because of you've used all the pinks that you're allowed. I'll be pink, green would grow. Grow green, go grow, grow. That couldn't be light blue. The orange, that would be our final region. And the regions you're allowed 4 along here. And these are all filled. So you're not allowed to dip back in. Because that's... Well, if yellow dipped back in right at the end. If... Something like this. I mean, now is this going to start being an issue? Because you'd need at least 2 things, wouldn't you? And I don't know. Again, 3 would have to be strictly on its own. This could be a 20, that wouldn't be a 9, for example. Why would you break? Because I can't see why the other one breaks. I think this is my only hope. Seeing something. It's all, but it's not going to be about this. These 1s and 2s do anything? The fact that we now have a 1 on its own. This horizontal, that's one of these guys. Got a 1 and we've got an 8. We've got another single. Yeah. Let's get away from the bifurcation mark. Oh, not that far. So this one, I think, makes a C and F pair. He's got a 1 and he's got lots of singles. So anything else in here, as soon as I jump into row F, I've got to start spitting out lots of multiples. It's got to be a big old run. And they both have 4 gaps. So that's got to be gap. That's got to be gap. because if it's not gap, you only get 3 gaps. So B, vertical B, 15 and question mark. I was just thinking either. Yeah, now this, I think this does become interesting. So I think I can break this being E, can't I? If this is now E, all of this, make this its own special region. It'd have to come down because of this column. To make this pink. Yellow would have to escape, of course. So now that can't be the 3. The 3, that's pink, so that's green. So the 3 would sit somewhere here. 3 of E. Couldn't sit there because of the 27. So either green does that. Or yellow does this. And this I know would sum to at least 15. So does that put a limit on this? Really? Either that's green. Let's think about that situation. Let's go for a second one. Let's think about that situation. This is our 9th region. It's not allowed to be. No, hang on. This is our 9th region. So what are you connecting to? This? That's way too far, isn't it? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so that breaks. So you'd have to be 3 here. Yellow. This would just straight up have to be orange. And then that breaks this. Okay. Sure. Probably not what I'm going to do. I'm a little stuck. We've got E. I think it doesn't help. Sad. Means that that's not 3 or 8. Actually, no, it did stuff, didn't it? I think it did stuff. Yeah, because this is orange growing big. Big boy orange. That's the 27. Got the 3 somewhere here. And the whole point was you've now maximized it, haven't you? So this did sum to 27. It does have 9 and 8. That's the only way that works. Hopefully. Pretty sure. And you get a 3 somewhere here, which can't go in the middle. They're both pink. Okay. Okie dokie. Progress. Put back these things. Which don't do very much. That can't be a horizontal 2. Horizontal 2 is not allowed. Strike through a horizontal 2. So if this came down to there, for example, that couldn't be a 2 either. Get very trapped. It's 3. Is 3 part of the new region? Could it be B? Could probably be B. I mean, if I'm honest, Like all of these guys are going to take up a lot of space up here, aren't they? He could, yeah, he could be green, maybe. Maybe. So this sums to 11. Did another one. Either 4 or 6. This guy, I don't know really anything about him. Sadly. F, though. F with his 1 and his 8. Yeah, it doesn't have a 3 on his own. Ooh, 5 7 pair. So what's left in orange? A 1, 2, and a 3. Is he struggling to get some of those? I wonder. So, for example, if he wasn't allowed to climb up, remind me, what's not allowed to be vertical is 1s and 2s. Anything not allowed to be horizontal is 2s. You couldn't fit another horizontal 1 in here, for example. Oh, is this actually interesting F now? Yeah, F isn't this. F isn't this. This is C. This is F. So that's a 4. Okay, cool. And this is this guy. And this is probably not very helpful. That can't be filled because he'd have to grow, so that's definitely pink. Ones, 2s, and 3s. What would want to be vertical out of all of those, I wonder? If that's 3 and grows, could do that and not be blue. Which is pretty strange, but fine. One of these being a 2-9. Oh, that 2 and 9. Why is it not the other way round? How sad. I mean, if this was 2 and 9, then yellow would come out at the bottom. Don't necessarily know that it does. 2s and 3s, 2s and 1s, 2s and 3s of orange. Sky might. Not really. Alright, I need to pause for a moment, but I'll be back in a sec. Back again. Hopefully, though, he might punch the mic out of the way. We shall see. So, where do I want to be looking at next, I wonder? I mean, D, the one I've labelled D, I don't think is as powerful as I thought at all, actually. Do I want to consider the only other one that's got a low number of gaps? I'm going to get rid of D there for now. Pop D in here. Got D here. Oh, careful. So, low number of gaps. That's not D. That's not D. Oh. I don't think Can this bottom one be D? Probably. It's going to work at all. Vaguely. Oh no, he's gone. A fickle cat, this too. Alright. Should probably concentrate on the puzzle, shouldn't I? So, the things that can't be D, maybe D's got a bunch of single question marks, one of which have to be all that big. Really, I wouldn't have thought. Okay, yeah, this bottom one can't be D because then all of that would be pink. That's not D. We've got... If this one was D, and all this would be filled in, should imply that's filled in, which is our same... I feel like that should come round to the same problem. So if this bottom one is D, I put my red mark here. This bottom one is D, then it fills in all of this, it fills in that, it makes that pink. This would have to be our 9th region. This would have to be pink, this would be green. D has 4 things, 1, 2, and orange can't reach down because that would need a horizontal 2. So yeah, that just breaks. Oh yeah, that just breaks. So that's not D. So D has 3 options, but well, yeah, that one can't be D because then that makes one big old loop. Yeah, think about loops maybe. So D actually only has a couple of options. Okie dokie, hopefully we're back. I'm afraid I went wrong somewhere in here. Oh no, why is this done? Oh no, it's done the weird replay tool bug. How do I get away from this? Okay, that seems to be working. Let's go from here, I think, and get rid of that G. There we go. I think I'm going to try from here, which I think is correct, and I think I should be able to roughly line up with the old video. But I finished solving it yesterday, just not on camera, and then I'm just going to try and finish it again in here. So I think what I proved was, see how much I remember. So this line here, which I'll call H, which isn't, I know if it were F, then all of those would be orange, and that just breaks straight off the bat, doesn't it? And I know it's not A, B, C. F is placed. I couldn't remember if F was placed or not. So let's put H's here. It's got 3 singletons. So it's none of these. And it's not this one, because that one would need all of these orange and then wouldn't be a singleton. So it is definitely this guy. The interesting thing there is what happens if that's 3 now. Then this would be pink, and therefore that would have to be filled. So either way, this cell here has to be filled. And then you can ask, what region is it part of? We know it's not this, the 9th one, which has to go down here. There's not enough space up here. It's not yellow and it's not orange. So that has to be part of blue. At that point, do we want to look at our specials again? which are those two, which always have to start and end on a pink. And where can they go? Starting and ending on a pink. So if these two were filled, then neither of these could be. Why is that a problem, I wonder? Is that the next thing as well? These two are filled. And that just implies that you have to go out and round, which you have to do anyway. So maybe that's not the next thing. That's filled. But that could all be blue. Just going to consult what I did yesterday. Place H. And then did I just immediately fill in those bottom two cells? Apparently. So why does that being blue and filled imply that? Oh, so if those two are now filled, then that's your only gap in B. Oh, that's the third gap in B. So they'd all be blue, and then it does break red, doesn't it? Okay. So that's definitely pink. And what that implies is that this blue thing is the only two things making up those two cells, aren't they? So blue's got to sort of come out a bit and then come back down. This sort of shape would still just about be possible, I think. Meantime, is there any Sudoku that could be had? Possibly, though probably not. Yeah, that sort of thing is okay, isn't it? I feel like I should have thought more about some stuff first, maybe. If that cell's pink, then... Oh, and also... Is this guy forced? No, you can get away with that being down here, I think. So... We haven't got that many left, have we? Has D become strained? Not particularly. That cell's not blue. It's not pink, and blue does come out like this. Oh, that would be blue and B3, and then that's not big enough. That's the point, isn't it? Okay. That's blue. That's got to be gap. That's got to be blue, or else blue's way too big. Some edges. C. Blue. C, I think, is interesting because... Oh, that cell's also blue, isn't it? We've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got one more cell of blue. So yellow has to come up into here for our double C action. So if that was pink and yellow had to be forced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're allowed back up again. Is that going to be an issue at all? You'd have to do that and then turn one way or the other. I think that's okay. If that's pink, then you could go up here, couldn't you? Anyway, that's not red star anymore. And in fact, do we want to think about, because you've got these 2 rows that are now restricted to just three places. D here. Oh, D here is associated with... Oh, no, that's if it's associated with that. Which at the moment it could still be. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost 2 more blues. Oh, that's of course pink, isn't it? It's just doing a yin yang before this, so I need to make sure I don't then make that coloured, non-pink. Need to be a bit careful with blue and yellow not touching, and same thing with yellow and orange, but both of that is okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I do know that blue comes down to here, so can I disprove it sticking out, I wonder? If it did stick out, that would be pink, this would be orange. That would be yellow. I think that, no, because that could be 3, 1, 5. And say it implies that that can't be blue. Yellow can't reach all the way over here, can it? Well, actually might be able to. No, yellow needs 4 gaps. So annoyingly, that could still be filled, I think. Obviously, the 2 would have to hide away there or somewhere, I think. Can I count down here? So you've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16. So sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 8, 13, 17, 18. So if that's not, we know quite a lot about this bottom thing, but I know that that's not. So if that is that interesting? See the left. Possibly. I need to have another think about D. D, which is 2 blanks and those things. If that's 3, then orange is pushed up at least 1, and it can't be pushed up 2. So orange would look like that or that. So orange isn't really affecting this at all. There must be one of these that I can pull out, can't I? Possibly. Oh, this now has to be at least 15. So that is 2, 4, 9. That's not 3. That would just be 7 and 8. If it is 3, you couldn't have a 1 because it's got to sum to at least 15. But other than that, you're pretty happy. What's going on? That's not 9 and 2, which puts 9 and 2 down here. Your 9 there. Which makes this sum to 12. Is that then interesting for that? Maybe. This is now big. Yeah, that also seems fine. Apparently I decided that this couldn't be D anymore. D, which needs 2 sets of pink and a whole bunch of things. So if that were the case, you got 2 at the mo. You could jump back up and down with your 9th region. What's wrong with this being D? Is it? Wish I could remember my thought process. Or maybe it's... Is it what this one is? So you can't have... Yeah, that can't have 4 gaps. So that's ruled out all of those. It's not A, B, E, or H. Can it have... So can it be this bottom one? No, because you got 4 things. Okay, so that's why that's D. Which, that's a single, that's a doubler. That's that double question mark thing. Surely that can't be a 3, but I don't think that's that useful. So if that was pink, I said that yellow had to come up, and then that would make a 5th thing in that row. So that's not allowed. That's definitely yellow. If you try to be yellow again, that's not happening because you then have another 2-digit thing in here. See that. Yellow carries on. 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've got 1 more yellow here and here. So that's certainly not blue. And what did C look like? It's not really going to be a problem, C, I don't think. I suspect we sort that out quite late. These are both quite small, though. It's in 6 doesn't work for that one. That's got to be a 1. And that's got to be a 3. And then that can be 4 and 5, which means this can't be 5. Make that sum to 11. Fours, you allowed that to be a... No, you're not allowed to come down again, of course, because of D. So that does finish off yellow. And puts 4 there. 6s, 5s. 3's not there. So this is an 8 and a 9. Do vaguely remember filling out a lot of this. We have to do that again. 2s can't be in the vertical thing. So that cell's a 2. So that cell can't be anything because orange can't get there. Nothing can reach that. Orange do that. You have to hide vertical 2, but you also have to hide the vertical 1. So that's not going to be allowed. Pink things that probably don't actually help yet anyway. So if this was 3, . And what's wrong with that, I wonder? Apparently I had a look down here. Keep on going back to my cheat sheet. Cell 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9. No, anything else? Oh, no, that's not 7. So if this was, if blue took any of these, this would be a 7-8 pair. It would be a 1-3. And the nubbin couldn't be a 1 on its own. So 1s would definitely go there. It's not 7. Seven. 2 more in here. Why can't that be a 3 coming down there? Is wrong with that. H is chilling. F. So F is 4 things that would then have to go like that. That cell is always filled at least because you're going to be attached to orange in some way. Could be doing it like that. If this was the blue nubbin, then orange would have to do this. But it's a 3, 2, 1. Yeah, and H. So that can't be orange because then what's this cell? That's got to be a 3, but then that would also be a 3. So that's pink, and that can't be the blue nubbin. Does that? Yeah, so that cell's not filled. Then orange does this. This would have to be 3 with 1, 2. So that's got to be bigger there. Big enough. The H. Be 3 and 1, 2. Is that going to cause problems? And that would be a 5. 3, 1, 2. 5. This would be 6 or 7. Where's 4? Oh, there's a 4 here. Okay, there's a 4 here. So that can't be 3 on its own because then H would be less than E. So that is pink, therefore, and that's the last blue. I think that's a bit prettier than what I found yesterday. So that's nice. That's got to be orange. Last orange goes there. So now I can make this green because of the whole counting 3s and 4s, and then that takes 1. Can it be green or can it be that? It might have to be that. This comes out like that. This guy has 4 gaps and 3 things, one of which is big. Is it literally only this one? Yeah. So this is going to be G. Good. So 7 and a single, yeah. G and G, and then you've got 3, you've got 4 left for those 4. This guy's got to be interesting. Oh, and 2s. 2s are got to be down here, don't they? Because otherwise you get a 2 nubbin at the top, which isn't allowed. It's 12. And if that was 2 and 1, you run into the same problem. So that has to be a 2-3 pair. So that's probably like a 4. A pair of 5s, judging by this. Does that look correct? Yeah, I think that's correct. And then you get a 1 up here somewhere. So this guy being a 1, let's label him I. He's got to be the final I. Which has 2 big boys. Which it looks like it does. So that can't be 1. That's got to be a 1. And that's that one. That's good. That one and that one's 7. This guy goes 1, 7, 8. Something big. I goes 1. This has to be big now. That's always big. Can that go? That can't go 1, 7. Because why couldn't that go 1, 7? Because that's I, and then that would be bigger than this. C looks okay. Maybe E. Know what E looks like now? Yeah, that can't be a 5. And that's either a 6, 9 or a 7, 8. 6, 9 or 7, 8. Sums 27. This we know is F, which goes 1, 7, 8, and then some doubly things. If green, some loopy stuff, isn't there? Let's do our last ones and see what that looks like. Where are we up to in the alphabet? J, I think. Oops. J, K, L. J, K, L. So this one's a special one. That one can't be J. And that one, oh no, that could all be singles. K can't all be singles. I doubt that'd be L. You'd have to look like a little spiky gremlin thing, wouldn't you? I don't actually see anything wrong with that immediately. Does it break K? Possibly, but possibly not. How about one of them having... Oh no, hang on, L. If this guy's L, then how many pink regions does he have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that's not L, that's definitely J. Takes J out of here. And so that being J makes that pink. Do that. In green. And has green got to escape there, or can it drop down? It can probably drop down. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 17, 18. But that's probably green. Disconnect there. Maybe. It's J. J's a bunch of short question marks. And we must be able to say what's K and L, can't we? Yeah, because this is now at least double digits. Yeah, that 1, 2. So this one here. Oh no, they both have 2 lots of double digits. The bottom one can't be this, can it? Yeah. No, because it's got 5 pinks. So the bottom one is that one. The top one is that one. To say that looks right. Get rid of those for a bit for the mo. So K has 5 pinks. We've got 3 so far. We need to add in 2 more. So I think they're both pink, which means greens comes down here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Takes one of those. They're all colours like that. These cells are all, let's make this, because that's now definitely yellow. This is all yellow because I said that out of these blocks, everything's got to be filled. So one of those is green. If that one's green, that one's yellow, and then yellow would have to go not touch that. That seems okay. FJ. Does J look like 4 question marks? That almost seems quite likely. If that's green, it's the other way around, isn't it? If that's green, that's got to be yellow. So that's definitely yellow and green like that. Finish those ones off, finish off green. That's not yellow. Yellow comes around like this. There we go. You gotta take, see that yellow? Then one of these last ones. J is all single question marks. That probably doesn't actually help at all. So now do we look to the top? Probably, since we know quite a bit. Which one of these has 2 question marks, two gaps even? No, 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 yes. So that's H, which goes 6. Something that's at least 15, and then that's got to equal 15 because this has got to equal at least 15. So let's make that a 6, 8 pair. Let's fill in what these can be. About the 9s and the 3s. These sum to at least 15. Which might be helpful at some point. Any other ones of these? That special one with 4 pinks. Let's have a look at you. Oops. 1, 2, 3 pinks. 1, 2, 3, 4 pinks. Just double check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this one's I, and they're all singles as well. Ones. That can't be 1. Ones are definitely here, which gives you the orange one there. Seven and 5. 6, 8, 6, 7, 5, 7, 5. 3's there. It's not 4 apparently. Okay. So I can't have a 3 starting off. That's definitely 3, making all of those 3's. Then these aren't 3's anymore. Those 2 is definitely a 3. All of these have to have their smallest thing summing to 3. You know what's left. So for example, this one, which by the way is the only thing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, so that has to be that one. J and J. It needs something 3, that can't, so that's got to be 3 there. That's a 2's thing, so that's also a sums to something bigger than 10, or 10 or more. Which it's going to do incredibly easily. Can't be a 4 and 5. I think we'll manage that. What else have we got? Yeah, something about these 2. In as much as No, I think they could be doubles and stuff and whatnot, couldn't they? J being all singles. This can't be a 1 on its own. So where's the yellow 1? It's got to go there. It's a final call. It's our last region. This guy could still be a doubler. Double digit thing there. So that's not useful yet. He needs a 3 in his column though for those two. So that's got to be 2 here. So now this one associates with that, which is K. This is L. And we are done with all our letters, which is nice. So H, this sums to at least 15. So it definitely has a 3. Ah, so it can be whatever now. It doesn't need a 9. Tool. No, yeah, 357 gets you there, doesn't it? Let's have a look at L maybe. That just means that has to be double digits. Seems pretty likely. So what do I want to look at? I wonder. Probably need to think about filling out all the horizontal stuff and vertical, but I'll start here. That's 7 and 8. H. It's 4, 5, 5. That can't be 6. That can't be 8. So K, which has a 12 in it. Something else that's pretty mega. That certainly can't be a 1 for K. That'd be a 4. Probably. I don't see why not. L. J, look, has a 4 in it. So that's a 4, and K's got to have a 4 here. A. That's M5 or 7, which would work either way. And J starts 4. That's got to be at least 5, so that's not 4. It's either there or there. So that's most 5, 6, or and it's got to be bigger than that, so it's got to be a 6 or 7. L isn't really going to have any problems. D, do we know what D looks like? 6, 8. 8 here, 9 there, 15 there. Not that the 15 matters at all. So the L at the bottom here can't have an 8 on its own. 6, 7, and 9. I think I've mostly looked at. Can I go back to J at all? How J and K interact? Not really. Let's have a look at some vertical stuff. So H is basically done. So 6. Have we got our vertical 3s in all of these? 3, 3, 3, 3. It's pretty good. F is all the way down here. It's these ones I'm focusing on. It's quite nice that they line up quite well. Is it easier to see? So L is 3 and then something relatively big. Oh no, let's look at eyes, because eyes are pretty massive. As much as that's always 3 and 5, so these are either L, at least a 4. So the smallest next digit is either a 4 or 5. K and J. K and J seems pretty fine. I mean, no, so for J, the next smallest has a minimum of 5, so that is a 5. So I is 3, then 5. And J is at least bigger than 5 next, but this guy has to be strictly bigger than that. So the next smallest value in I after the 5 can't be another 5 or even a 6 apparently. That's got to go 987. That looks okay and should give us some digits. 5, 7, 6, and 8. So you got that 7, 8, 9. I is basically happy at that point. This has to be strictly less, so the next smallest in J has to be a 5, 6 pair. 4, 8, 6. 9, 8, 4. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 and 9. It's now J across 4, 7, 8, 9. So now K can't go 7 next. That's got to be 5, 7, 7, 8, 6, and 5. Then finally, oh no. I probably. So it's probably J, probably some of this stuff. So L's got to be relatively small. That's starting 3, 4. And K starting 3. Apparently, no, that's just still sorted. Like that. And 8 and 6. Yeah. Okay. And I'll trust that all this seems to work. Nice. Well, I don't know how I feel about this puzzle. When I was solving it yesterday, it felt like far too many clues with no real idea of where you're meant to look, which with this number of clues meant that you did a lot of hunting around of things that weren't actually useful. That felt consistent throughout the whole solve. On this second attempt, but there were quite a lot of points where I was then having a look at what I'd done, how I'd finished it yesterday. I was thinking, oh, maybe it's a bit more clear where to look, but I think that is a second solve benefit. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a very interesting puzzle. Certainly had its merits there. I did just find it too much for the number of clues, I think. And with where you're meant to be looking. There was nothing chainy. I don't think, anyway. It was all short deductions, just a lot of them. But yeah, don't know how this video will turn out. It'll be a bit of a chaotic thing, but oh well. And probably not very interesting to watch. But if you have made it through, thank you very much. And thanks for the puzzle, because, I mean, I always enjoy a puzzle. Let's be honest. I mean, I take that back, actually. But I almost enjoy 99.99% of puzzles, probably. I've learned to ignore the ones that I don't. But yeah, cool. Right, stop rambling. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Chat to you all sometime later. Bye.